So you want to become an ethical hacker faster than anyone else? Well, in the next 6 steps, I'm going to reveal the skills, projects, and secrets needed to break into this industry. Hi, my name's AJ. I've been in cybersecurity for the last 9 years, and on this channel, we teach all things cybersecurity for beginners. So let's get into it. Step 1 then, you want to actually master the foundation. So how do you begin with that? So you need to build up your networking knowledge. Networking is the ultimate fundamentals of cybersecurity because you need to know how networks work, how computers actually talk to each other to be able to actually protect them. So great certification for that is something like the CompTIA Network Plus. Then you want to build your cybersecurity fundamentals. So something like the CompTIA Security Plus is really great for this to help you build up those foundations in cybersecurity. So combining these two together is a really great start. Then most companies now operating in the cloud. So looking into certifications from AWS, certifications from Azure, for example, they both have free training that is available online from their respective websites. And ultimately, attackers these days are always going where companies are going. And if you want to be an ethical hacker, you're going to need to understand cloud platforms and how attackers are actually attacking these cloud platforms. But before you can start to understand how to actually attack them, you need to start to understand what they actually are and how they actually work. So building your own cloud infrastructure at home, for example, to get that experience to build these foundations. Then what you're going to be looking at then specific penetration testing and ethical hacking skills. So there's a great write-up here. So from Jack Hacks, and that's this GitHub page here where this was updated in 2023. So you want to be a pen tester. So a lot of the research that I've done, so I'm a cybersecurity analyst, senior cybersecurity analyst, but I have worked with some red teamers as well and penetration testers. But I did some research and this was a fantastic write-up that I recommend that you do read through as well. But ultimately, what he mentions in there from my research these are some of the things that you're going to want to start to understand. So web application security, understanding how web applications work, how to secure them, how to actually compromise them. Network security, so understanding how to compromise networks. So you're going to build your foundations in networking. You're going to also want to understand how they're actually secured to then potentially be able to break them. Code reviews, so being able to understand how to review code to potentially look for certain vulnerabilities in that code. Reverse engineering, exploit development, so being able to create your own exploits to be able to exploit the vulnerabilities that you discover. Hardware, embedded devices security, physical security as well. So physical security in penetration testing and ethical hacking is often overlooked because as a penetration tester or an ethical hacker, if you can just walk into a company network, plug in your USB that contains your malware, then you can bypass a lot of the security controls. So physical security is something that is hugely important. Amazon Web Services security. So as I mentioned, understanding cloud platforms, and there's Azure and AWS, but the biggest one is AWS. So understanding how AWS actually secures, how can you actually secure systems in AWS, how you can actually secure the different services is also then going to help you understand how to actually break into them as an ethical hacker and as a penetration tester. And of course their mobile security. So mobile devices are much more popular. There's people in companies now, they've got services such as bring your own device, where they allow employees to bring their own mobile devices into the company, for example. So understanding mobile security, because it's an attack vector that is very, very common these days because most people and most employees have them as well. So if you want to get your foundations in security networking, then be specific in these learning areas related to what is required as a penetration tester or ethical hacker. And then you want to look at some certifications then. So CEH then, this is actually not very well looked by the penetration testing community based on my research and based on the article that was written by Jack Hacks. So I would probably stay away from that one, even though I'll show you later in the video, there are some jobs that actually do ask for it. So it could still be one that you might want to do based on the actual job descriptions that I've seen. But in the penetration testing ethical hacking community, it is kind of frowned upon because it's seen as not actually that good. The ones that you do want to focus on are your OSCP, OSCE as well, and even the EJPT penetration testing certificate as well. And there's some additional ones here, the 0 Point Security, SANS as well. The SANS certifications are very, very expensive. So when you're starting out, likely you're not going to want to go straight in and pay for these because they are so expensive. But again, these are some great recommendations from an actual penetration tester themselves. But I would personally, based on what I've seen, I would personally try to focus on the OSCP and then look to build out for other certifications as well then. But ultimately, you want to be building your fundamentals in networking, in cloud, and in security. Start to understand specific skills related to the role of a penetration tester, and then if your budget allows, look at certain certifications that are asked for by companies on job descriptions. Step 2 then is beginning to get some hands-on experience. So no different with other cybersecurity jobs, hands-on experience in penetration testing and ethical hacking is hugely important. So downloading a Kali Linux virtual machine, setting this up, having a look at the different tools in there, tools such as Nmap, doing your own Nmap scans, network scanning, getting some experience with a lot of the tools that are in something like Kali Linux can really start to help you build up those hands-on skills. Then there's even vulnerable machines like Metasploitable and the WASP Vulnerable Web Applications Directory, where you can set up vulnerable web applications and try to attack them in your home lab. And this is just going to help you build that fundamental hands-on experience and get some experience with some of these tools that are used by ethical hackers and penetration testers. So that's Metasploitable and the OWASP Vulnerable Web Applications Directory as well. Step 3 then, you want to start to look at the jobs that are out there and the different job descriptions and also bug bounties. So first of all then, looking at different jobs that are out there for penetration testing. So there's a website like clearjobs.net. There's many other job websites that you can use. But the idea here then is that you just want to go through and start to understand the requirements and what they're actually asking for. So this is going to give you a good understanding of what you need to do. So where I mentioned web application testing, for example, this is naming some tools such as Burp Suite, Nmap, for example, Nessus, Metasploit, Command and Control C2 framework. So this is letting you know exactly what companies are looking for when it comes to penetration testing and ethical hacking roles. You can also see the additional experience here as well. So like I mentioned, OSCP comes up a lot, and even CEH, even though it's not that well renowned in the penetration testing community, there are actually companies that are asking for it. So it's based on what you want to do with your research when it comes to doing certifications. I personally probably would lean into the OSCP. These are the SANS ones, which are much more expensive, but you could look at starting with OSCP. But if you do want to do the CEH, then that is up to you. But it is just looked down on a little bit in the penetration testing community. But the idea here then, just come and review these, come and have a look at different jobs that are going penetration testing jobs, because this is going to help you understand the requirements, and ultimately that's going to tell you exactly what you need to learn. So please do come through websites like this and start to look into the different jobs that are here. So you'll see junior penetration tester roles, vulnerability analyst as well. Sometimes they can be the types of penetration testing roles as well. So you don't always want to focus on the job title. Even red team engineer, a red team analyst, there's different job titles that you want to be looking into to try and understand if they're jobs that you can actually apply for. And again, come through here, start to understand the required experience, what will be expected from you, and then that's going to help you guide your learning towards what you need to actually learn. So the other thing you can start looking into are actual bug bounties. So HackerOne and BugCrowd are the most popular bug bounty platforms, and effectively what these platforms are is that companies will have a type of bug bounty program. So they will set up a bug bounty program, and if you find a vulnerability, a bug in their software, in some of their applications, for example, and it's actually exploitable, based on what the severity is of that bug or vulnerability, they will actually give you a reward for that. So you can see some of these examples on here. So as you can see, these companies are saying that, so there's usually a range depending, like I said, on the severity. So Skyflow, for example, will pay between $50 and $5,000 for a specific vulnerability. And red teamers, penetration testers, will often try to discover these vulnerabilities in order to get some money. So when you're starting out, this is going to be a lot more difficult. It is more seasoned professionals that are usually finding these vulnerabilities and working through these bug bounties. But it's good to start to understand how these programs work, how to actually discover bugs and vulnerabilities in certain applications. These are the kind of things that are going to be expected of you. So do get familiar with bug bounty programs. So Step 4 then, do more hands-on hacking. So as with every job in cybersecurity, hands-on experience is what's going to help you stand out. And this is what employers are looking for these days. Most of their requirements are usually centered around wanting to have some kind of hands-on experience. So you can start to learn the ethical hackers methodology, for example, the steps that they're going to actually take to actually try to compromise a network or an application or infrastructure. Then you can lean into the micro-attack framework. This again is going to detail the steps that an attacker will take when they're trying to compromise a specific network or application. And then within that step, they list a certain set of techniques. So you can start to learn these techniques, start to understand how an attacker might traverse through a network, for example, how they get their initial access, gain persistence. These two resources are what's going to kind of put you in that mindset of a penetration tester, of a hacker, or an ethical hacker. And then you want to get some hands-on experience. So something like hackthisSite.org, for example, AWS Goat, Try Hack Me, Hack the Box. These are all hands-on practical labs that you can do to build those fundamental skills and to actually get a lot of the hands-on experience that you need. And as with anything in cybersecurity, it all takes time. The hands-on experience is all trial and error. You need to get comfortable with trial and error. You need to get comfortable with not knowing something and doing your research and then continue in the lab from there. So definitely check out these resources as well. Step 5 then, I actually don't think most people should go straight in and try to be a penetration tester or ethical hacker straight away. I think it's better to go into something like security operations, such as a cybersecurity analyst role. And then after you've built up the experience, then move into more of a red team engineer, red team analyst role. Now, this doesn't go for everyone. Everybody is different. Some people who might be much more technical and maybe have a lot of background experience of tinkering with things, breaking things, have a lot of hands-on experience in ethical hacking, may be able to jump straight into a penetration testing role. But I think for most people, it's better to go down the security operations center route first, get some experience. And also when you're in a security operations center, you might get the chance to work with red team engineers, for example, where you can further hone your skills. So this is the pathway that I usually recommend. So CompTIA Network Plus and Security Plus that we've also already spoken about. Suggest going into the role of a cybersecurity analyst. Some of the skills are here, what we mentioned. I'll link a video at the end where I go more into this pathway in detail. But ultimately what you want to be doing is focusing on the role of a cybersecurity analyst. Focus on these skills. So I'm a senior cybersecurity analyst, and these are the skills and these are the things that I do on a daily basis. Again, the home projects need to relate to each one of these areas. So building your own SIEM, for example, setting up your own cloud infrastructure. If you are interested in trying to view some project videos on this, we've actually got a free cybersecurity community called CyberHub, and it'll be linked in the description. And what you'll get here then is that you'll be able to access all the other 9,000 members in here, but you'll also get access to our classroom content. We've got cybersecurity fundamentals training, Professor Messer's CompTIA Network Plus and Security Plus, but then we've also got these project videos in here as well. So for example, setting up your home cloud lab, setting up Elastic SIEM. So there are some project walkthrough videos that you can watch in here as well. So once you've done some of these projects, you can then look to set up your resume, which is also, you can get a copy of my resume in that community as well. And you just want to be consistent here then, be consistent with applying for those jobs and applying for cybersecurity analyst jobs or any kind of security operations center job. Be consistent, and then eventually then when you want to look to specialize into the role of a penetration tester, you'll have all of this experience under your belt as well, and you'll already have cybersecurity experience too. Ultimately then, I think step 6 is for most people to go into security operations like I mentioned, and then go into red teaming. So you have the pathway, learning about security operations, learning about becoming a cybersecurity analyst. They're usually the easier roles to go into. Nothing in cybersecurity is a given or is easy, but security operations is usually easier to go in first than red teaming. Again, it depends on the person. And then you can start to learn the skills of a red team while you're in the Security Operations Center and look to push through some certifications like we mentioned at the start of the video as well. So this is the pathway that I think most people will lean into. It all depends on the person. If you're not sure where you currently are, you can chat to me in our free cybersecurity community as well, and we can go through some tailored pathways for you in there as well. But this is the pathway that I think most people will find the greatest chance of success to get into red teaming, ethical hacking, or penetration testing. So to conclude then, you now have a roadmap to becoming an ethical hacker in 2025. You want to start with your foundations. You want to build some practical experience, look into some certifications, and also review different job descriptions and look into bug bounties. Now, if you are a complete beginner and you want to go into a security operations center and cybersecurity analyst role first, go and watch this video next where I break down that full pathway and give you a guide to get into cybersecurity with no experience in 2025. Thank you for watching. I'll see you over there.